The first thing I would do is stop the immigration from Muslim countries. I believe that we have enough Islam in our societies. I have nothing against Muslims, I have nothing against people, but I have a big problem with the fascist ideology that is called Islam. I believe Islam is more an ideology and a religion. It should not be compared to Christianity or Judaism. It should be compared with other totalitarian ideologies because Islam wants to rule and dominate every aspect of life and has no respect for everything that is non-Muslim.
Would you repatriate Muslims?
No, I would. If Muslims adhere to our laws, to our constitution, they are equal to anybody else. Muslims that are already in Holland would be able to stay, and they won't have to fear anything for my party of my government. But if they commit a crime, if they want to implement Sharia, if they cross the line of violence, then indeed, if they have a Dutch nationality, otherwise it's not possible, I would strip them of the Dutch nationality and send them away. But if they don't, they are welcome and equal as anybody else.
Would you ban the Quran?
Yes, I made the proposal in the Dutch parliament. Indeed, I believe, even though I'm against banning books, that there is one red line when it comes to freedom of speech. I'm advocating freedom of speech. There is one red line, and that is the incitement of violence. And if you incite to violence, then you cross that line, and it should be banned.
Switzerland has banned minarets. Would you do that?
Yes, of course I would do that. At least I would hold a referendum like the Swiss did.
And the headscarf as well?
I'm against building more mosques in the Netherlands. I don't want to get away with the existing mosques, but I want no more mosques in the Netherlands.
You've said that you're afraid of being linked with the wrong sort of fascist groups in Europe. But
all fascist groups are wrong, ma'am.
But many people do bracket you alongside the BNP or Jean-Marie Le Pen or Jörg Haider.
No, but we have really nothing to do with them. We are Democrats. Once again, we have nothing against people. I don't care what the color of some people's skin is, whether they are black, brown, blue or grey, I don't care.
Let me pick out a verse. A son who will not obey his parents should be stoned to death to rid them of this evil. Is that abhorrent?
Well, you know, of course, probably it's Deuteronomium from the Old Testament that you are quoting from. I know them almost all by heart. And there are many differences between the Old Testament and Christianity that you are probably quoting from and from the Quran. First, the context is different. It's not Moses talking to his people from a mountain. It's Muhammad, it's Allah, who is ordering people to act in any possible time according to his words. The Old Testament, as you know, was followed by a more moderate New Testament. There is no new Quran. There was an enlightenment process in Christianity,
but these are
which
still
has never
the words
happened
of God, whether it's the Quran or whether it's the Bible.
No.
They're the words of God and they're open to interpretation, and you know that the vast majority of Muslims in this country and in your country are law-abiding and want peace.
No, you are not aware of the facts then, because unlike Christianity, Muslims believe that the Quran is literally the word of God. It's not what Christians believe. It's literally
many Christians,
the word of
many
God.
Jews do.
No, it's literally the word of God.
But if you had the confidence of your values and your culture, would you need to use the language of intolerance, as many people will see it, which brackets you in exactly the same place as the people you hate?
Well, this is not true, unfortunately. You know what we have done in our Western countries? We always were tolerant to the tolerant. And I believe we should still stay tolerant to the tolerant. But unfortunately, we always were also tolerant to the intolerant. And I believe that the time has come that we should still stay tolerant to the tolerant, but we should learn to get intolerant to the people or the ideologies that are intolerant to us.
Afghanistan was a policy that the Dutch government fell out over to the point of collapse very recently.
Yes.
If you believe that the fundamentalist Muslim is the world's worst enemy, why do you not want to fight the Taliban there?
We did, and unlike the leftist parties in Holland, we were in favor. We even supported the first deployment of the Dutch troops to Afghanistan. I still want the international community to stay there, but I believe the Dutch have done enough. I'm not against the fight for freedom in Afghanistan, but we are a relatively small NATO ally, and we are still the third contributor in Afghanistan. That is totally out of proportion.
Geert Wilders, thank you.
It's my pleasure.